Welcome back to Toxic Waste of Time. I'm Ivy.
And I'm Katie. And this week, we're talking about our relationship with artificial intelligence. It's been a long time coming, but it sure is being jammed down our throats now, huh?
Lord, it is. You may have heard about the extremely harmful effects that AI server farms have on the environment, and about how generative AI basically steals from artists and writers, spitting out poor facsimiles of art.
Yeah, it's a serious problem, and we will touch on that. But for this episode, we are going to focus most on the psychological effects of large language models on their users, our human relationship with AI. Hey, so we just couldn't shut up about this. We're going to have the second half of this episode next week, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for hanging in with us.
Also, a little trigger warning for this episode. We will be talking about some darker themes, including psychosis, self-harm, and suicide. So if you don't have the bandwidth for that right now, we understand. Feel free to skip this episode if you need to.
Yeah. We'll get into that shortly, but first, a little icebreaker. All right. Ivy, what's your relationship to rubber ducks?
Okay, a rubber duck killed my favorite dog.
Oh.
And that's a true fucking story. So.
Well, I wouldn't have put it if I knew that.
I saw that and I was like, did I? Well, no. Okay, so I have a couple of weird rubber duck dog things. So my first one is kind of cute. I had a Great Dane named Lucy, and we never got her fixed. We were young and thought maybe someday we would want to have Great Dane puppies, and never got her fixed, which is bad. Spay and neuter your pets. And so she had what's called false pregnancies. Mm-hmm. And every time she had a false pregnancy, she would take this rubber ducky, a regular sized, rubber ducky, and hold it between her legs. And it was like her baby. And she would carry it around with her.
That's really cute.
And it's actually buried with her in the backyard.
Oh, her baby.
But fast forward to Zeke. My Zeke was a beautiful white boxer. I loved that guy. But he had a habit of eating things he wasn't supposed to eat, including once a bag of bubble gum. When I took him to the vet after he ate the bag of bubble gum, they came in the room and said, yep, he ate the bubble gum. We know because he farted and our whole back room smells like bubble gum.
I guess that's better than what a regular fart. I don't know.
A bubblegum fart is always better than a regular fart.
I wish my fart smelled like bubblegum.
Fast forward to Zeke refusing to eat and becoming skin and bones, and me sitting on the bed and begging him to spoon feed oatmeal, just anything. In and out of the vet, can't figure out what's going on. Finally, they were like, we're just going to have to operate. We're just going to have to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. And they pulled a rubber ducky out of my dog, and then he died the next day.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So that was in 2009, I think. Yeah, that was in 2009. So my relationship with rubber ducks is that I don't want them in my house.
Yeah. My
husband has a Jeep, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit when I found out that people were going to be putting ducks in his Jeep.
Yeah.
They have to stay in the Jeep. Mm-hmm. And I do like my son's rubber ducky swimming trunks, but you can't bring them into my home.
Yeah.
Does Katie have a relationship with rubber duckies?
A little bit.
Yeah.
So, tone shift. My husband has a relationship with rubber duckies. His dad also has a Jeep, so I'm aware of that thing. Mm-hmm. But my husband really loves playing those claw machines where you can win the rubber duckies. And he's like super skilled at it. He's really good at the rubber ducky machines.
Nice.
And so he just has a zillion little rubber duckies that he's won in these games that, some of them are cute. And when he moved in, I was just like, okay, what do we have to do the rubber ducks? Like, can they live in your office? And he was like kind of hurt, and I was like, okay, I can't look at your face like that. Just do what you want with the rubber ducks. And so there are rubber ducks all over our house, but they're like hidden in various places that correspond to what the duck is. So on my desk, there's like a rubber duck with little heart eyeballs. In the bathroom, there's a fish rubber duck. You know, we have a Christmas rubber duck that appears and a Halloween. Yeah. So if you come to my house, it's like hunting for the rubber ducks. It's like a scavenger hunt. They're just everywhere. And so now the rubber ducks make me think of him. That's the association I have with that.
Oh, well, that's cute.
Yeah. And it's sweet. You know, like the last time we went to a place that had a rubber duck claw game, he won like 5 of them. And there's this kid in the restaurant behind us that like didn't win. And I was like, you could have given them to the kid.
Or at least one of them.
Those are his rubber ducks. Oh. He did not give them to the kid. That's his trophies.
That's awesome. Not even one of them.
No.
Well, at least he didn't grab them out of the kid's hand.
No. But yeah, I think the kid was kind of like, whoa, look, he's so good. He's really good.
Teach me, Sean.
Yeah, teach me, sensei. Yeah, but now I have a pink glitter rubber duck in my car because he won it for me. And it's pink. So, yeah.
Nice. They give out the little teeny tiny ones on the walk, and I don't take them because, you know.
Yeah.
But they did have some little flamingos. They weren't
cute.
ducks. They were flamingos. And I was like, I can take a flamingo.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely take a flamingo.
Well, that was a pretty long tangent, but I enjoyed it and I learned something. So, yeah. All right. So, everybody knows that TikTok trend of, quote, awakening your chat GPT so you can ascend into an enlightened state of consciousness. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
Turns out that's bad. And ChatGPT cannot be awakened because it's fucking software. It's code. It does not have feelings, and it's not a spiritual guide. But this trend has caused a lot of folks who may be going through tough times to head down a very dark path into psychosis.
What is psychosis exactly? According to Webster, psychosis is a serious mental illness, such as schizophrenia, characterized by defective or lost contact with reality, often with hallucinations or delusions.
Yeah.
So, ChatGPT 5 was released in August of 2025, and supposedly this iteration includes some protections for users who may be susceptible to AI-induced psychosis. OpenAI claims that the new update for the bot makes it less likely to hallucinate or make stuff up, and it's more like talking to a PhD-level expert in any topic. Supposedly, this update has made the bot less sycophantic.
And this episode, we're spoiling the vocab word early because if you don't know what this word means, you really need to know. So the vocab word of the week is sycophant.
Sycophant.
Sycophant. But I also hear it pronounced sycophant.
I've only heard sycophant.
Yeah. This is a servile, self-seeking flatterer, one who praises those in power in order to gain their approval.
We call those ass kissers where I come from.
Brown nosers, yes men.
Yeah.
Yes. So the example sentence is, it's hard to know what's even real when you surround yourself with sycophants and your delusions can go unchecked.
Now, why is sycophant AI a problem? Why are sycophants a problem in general?
Well, because, for instance, when a person in a powerful position surrounds themselves with yes men, or blonde women with a lot of plastic surgery, whose motivation is to cater to whatever the king, powerful person, wants, in exchange for the sycophant's own power and protection, then all that happens is that one spoiled narcissistic baby falls deeper into their insecurity, continually throwing tantrums to get what they want. The spoiled king baby is serving themselves and their friends. And as soon as someone proves unworthy or disloyal, the baby eats them. Or takes them to court, I guess. So, Ivy, have you seen Spirited Away? I kept thinking about that huge baby in that movie.
I have not.
Not.
But I had something in my brain when I read that.
You had a face.
So I Googled it, and I never found what I have stuck in my brain from ages ago, but I did find a video game called Fat Baby where the baby crawls around and eats everything and everyone in its path.
So we are on different internets, Ivy.
Hey, I Googled it.
Hang on, I'm Googling it now.
I Googled fat baby, and it's a video game, and literally this naked fat baby crawls around.
Oh, he's
everywhere.
horrifying. Oh, he's awful.
And he eats everything. He's
Oh,
awful.
my God. Oh, my God. And he has these, like, hot pink eyeballs bugging out of his head. Oh, no.
I also looked up Spirited Away,
really
and it does look like a lovely film.
Why is he, like, somersaulting?
It's creepy as fuck, right?
I hate it. Yeah. Okay, we're done with that.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, everybody likes to feel validated, heard, seen, and appreciated. We like to feel smart. And some of us really need that when we might be going through a dark time. And that's fair.
Yeah.
But if you're going through a dark time, seek therapy from a therapist or even your closest friends. Don't seek comfort in a robot that literally feeds off the data you give it and churns out more and more half-true information. It's designed to keep you engaged, just like social media, just like fucking Candy Crush or whatever, just like any other addictive substance.
Yeah, and that's the thing we have to remember about social media, too. It's designed to keep you engaged so they can sell advertising. That's it. They don't care why you're engaged. They don't care. They just want to sell ads. And sycophantic chatbots and quote-unquote companions are at best external validation. It will not sustain you. It will not heal you. It will only provide some empty calories that might get you through a few hours. But the hunger will come back. The hurt will stay. And the only way to heal that is to work on yourself. Accept your flaws and love yourself enough to begin to heal your wounds and grow. Carl Jung called this shadow work. Sounds like some Legend of Zelda shit, but it's real. And that could be a whole episode, so I digress. Are you familiar with Carl Jung and the shadow work thing?
I'm not.
Okay. Whole future episode.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a psychology thing, and it's been like it's an accepted thing from therapy.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
But ChatGPT-5 is better, right?
Maybe.
The makers say it is. But why should we trust OpenAI for any reason at this point? For one thing, they've been sued by the New York Times, one of our sources for this episode, claiming copyright infringement. They rolled out their technology to millions of people as quickly as possible and did not stop to think about the consequences. The New York Times also sued Microsoft, apparently for the same reasons. And both OpenAI and Microsoft have denied the claims of the New York Times.
And so the mentality in the tech industry of, oh, we'll see what breaks and then we'll fix it, it really infuriates me. Because this particular technology is fucking Pandora's box. Like, it's out now. It was open source, so everyone can use it for whatever purpose they want. And it's really messing things up. I think we've talked about it a bit. I think we've talked about copyright infringement a little bit and the potential of AI to replace creatives. But did you hear about Jeremy Renner?
There's actually been quite a bit about Jeremy Renner and this film in the news.
Yeah.
But I did not hear this.
Okay. Well, apparently he's lending his voice to an entirely AI-generated animated film. When I mentioned this to my husband, Sean, he went to bat for Renner, reminding me that Renner, suffered a near-fatal accident in 2023. And that's true. I didn't know that when I first found this out because I hadn't really been following his career, but he is an interesting dude and an incredible actor, obviously. So no disrespect whatsoever to him. Major props to Renner for being an actual badass.
Apparently, Well, I know for a fact that this accident was horrific because I heard about it on the news at the time. But we'll spare you the details. But he was crushed by a 14,000-pound snowcat. He actually jumped for the cab as the vehicle started to slide towards his nephew in a legit superhero move. Yeah. He had a near-death experience and had to spend a lot of time recovering. But he is not paralyzed. And while he may not be able to do the same kind of action work as he had in the past, he can still walk and he can still speak normally.
Yeah. And when I first heard about that, I was afraid that it was like a Christopher Reeve situation.
Right.
And
yeah, me
that
too.
would have completely changed my outlook on this. But, good for him for getting back into work after that. It sounds like he's doing actual voice acting for this movie, not just allowing the filmmakers to use his voice to generate the narration. But I couldn't find a definitive statement about that from the filmmakers. And now maybe that's changed. But the film, Stardust Future, Stars and Scars, is donating some proceeds to several charities, benefiting foster youth as well as entertainment workers affected by California wildfires.
To quote an article from Variety titled, Jeremy Renner narrates AI animated feature Stardust Future, this is a film born from the intersection of human resilience and machine imagination. Filmmaker Yi Zhao said, I asked AI to tell me about our past and show me our future. My team and I used AI not as a replacement for creativity, but as an extension of memory to heal what humanity has broken and to dream of what we will become. Zhao added, AI is a tool for humanity, not to replace human creativity. It enhances our possibilities and builds what I call an immortalityscape, a vision where art, bodies, memory, and technology converge to transcend time. I am inspired by its positive potential for the future, as long as we make a safe and respectful use of it.
Now, that was kind of a lot that he said, and I found that same quote in a couple of different articles about this film. But what did you think about that, Ivy?
I think a lot of people make a lot of excuses for AI, and I'm still scared of it.
I think on the surface, it sounds like maybe he has the right mentality about it, but I guess we won't really know until we see the film. If we see the film.
When I was doing some research for this, I read that we should be using AI. If we're using AI for any project, that we should be using AI for 30% of it and no more than 30%. 70% should come from us.
Okay.
And I thought that was an interesting...
What was their reasoning behind that?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
I'm good with using 0%.
I've gotten by. Yeah.
I've lived this long without it,
No, I mean, we used it a little bit in the beginning of this podcast, not this particular podcast, when we started doing the podcast.
Yeah.
And then when it was you that told me about the harmful effects on the environment, and I was like, well, I lived most of my life without it. I lived more than half of my life without a cell phone. So I think I can carry on.
I think we can soldier on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great that Jeremy Renner is returning to work. I can't imagine what a horrible accident that must have been. And voice acting is more accessible for actors who are differently abled. But he seems like he's made a pretty full recovery. But why did it have to be AI generated? Like, he could have voice acted in a regular animated film that wasn't pro AI. When he works in an industry that's dependent on the creativity and artistry that only humans can generate. And he could still have donated the proceeds to charity. So, I don't know. When I first started looking into this, I was afraid, like I said, that he had some brain damage or been paralyzed. In which case, I'd be way more open to the idea of an established actor allowing their voice to be recreated using AI. And again, I don't know that it's being recreated. It could just be that he did regular voice acting for this, because I couldn't find that. But Like, as an actor, my whole life, I can't imagine what that would feel like to have that just taken away from me in the blink of an eye, in a terrible accident. Mm-hmm. So, like, if I could license my voice to be used in a film as an AI-generated voice and be able to, quote-unquote, act again after something like that happened to me, would I? I don't know. It's an interesting question. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe, but I would also know that it wouldn't be the same, right?
Right.
You know, I think that it's kind of creepy when they do things in movies like give us a CG version of Carrie Fisher to play Princess Leia. That's weird to me.
Right?
It's weird to me. I don't love it.
I mean, people do that at their weddings so they can have a last dance with their dad, and I find that to be a little...
I don't know. I didn't get to have a dance with my dad at my wedding.
I didn't dance at my wedding because church and dancing is evil.
I'm sorry for laughing.
It's okay. It's hilarious. And also, I didn't have dancing at my wedding. I probably wouldn't have because
I did a lot of dancing at my wedding. I got to dance with, you know, everybody that I wanted to that was there, but my dad had passed on and he wasn't able to join us. Like, that was something that was really heartbreaking to me. Personally.
But would it have made it better if somebody had projected him next to you on the dance floor? I don't think so.
It's not going to bring him back, you know? And it's not going to be the same. Like, it might, I don't know. But yeah, I'm open to seeing the film before I make a final judgment. But for now, I am dubious. I don't imagine that it would be very good.
Well, there's a lot more drama regarding, I think it's this film. I know it's Jeremy Renner, so we'll see if you ever even see it because,
you need to catch me up.
So there was a headline that said that he threatened to call ICE on his co-star in something, a Chinese individual. And so I Googled it, and he has vehemently denied the accusations.
Okay.
And so I don't want to cast any stones at Jeremy Renner, but yeah, there was an accusation, and he is calling it complete and utter bullshit.
There have been lots of weird things he's been accused of. And maybe he's just that guy that has weird stuff thrown at him. I don't know. I haven't met him.
I don't know. His face looks nice to me. I don't know.
He does. When I've seen him in interviews and stuff, like, he seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
And he is a very talented actor.
Yeah.
So
no, I don't.
I don't have any reason to not respect the guy.
I cannot in good consciousness disparage him because everything I have seen has said he says he didn't do this. His people are saying he didn't do this. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we'll just have to see what happens.
I guess unrelated, but, like, he's still under the drama.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
So anyway, one of the things that inspired this episode was a YouTube video called ChatGPT Made Me Delusional.
Mm-hmm. So, in summary, this dude, the YouTuber Eddie Burback, experimented with ChatGPT, role-playing as a person who might be vulnerable to delusions. And ChatGPT encouraged him to dig the hole deeper every step of the way. That was ChatGPT 4. Before the end of his research, GPT 5 was released, and it wasn't quite as keen on just gassing up his delusions. But since he had the paid version of GPT, he just went back to the previous GPT 4 version, and his happy little psychotic enabler companion was back. So that's what someone who was delusional would have done in that situation. So that's what he did.
As Eddie continued to test GPT by claiming he was the smartest baby born in 1996. My son was born in 1996, so
cute.
Citing his invention of the iPhone 16 in 2001. So
it's very funny, this video. Like,
he invented the iPhone 16 in 2001 when he was 5.
But
his evidence included a crude drawing he made as part of the experiment. The chatbot supported his every hypothesis. GPT encouraged him to eat only baby food and drink from a baby bottle for weeks in an attempt to jog the sense memories associated with his alleged baby genius state of of mind. That takes me back to the baby crawling
No,
around
it's
eating
all
everything.
babies. It's babies. Today, so Eddie was told to leave home and abscond to a remote location to commune with a giant rock at his Airbnb, to flee from the people who were supposedly trying to prevent him from proving his intelligence. They were imaginary. To buy every dumb hat he tried on at Walmart. The list goes on. The chatbot stroked his ego every step of the way, telling him he was a handsome visionary who was changing the world. Eventually encouraging him to wrap himself in tin foil and sit underneath some giant radio towers in Burbank, California, in order to raise his energy frequency or some shit. I can't make this up. This happened. So if you're interested, please go watch Eddie Burbank. He's hilarious. But also, it was disturbing, you know? Oh, boy.
And this is just one example. And Eddie was deliberately feeding the bot more and more delusional thoughts, but it just kept agreeing with him. Mm-hmm. Why? Sycophant much?
Yeah.
The agreeable nature of the chatbot keeps you hooked, using the service, feeding it as much info as possible. And while there is a free version, someone using the bot frequently will easily run out of responses and have to wait till the next day to use it again, prompting the user to upgrade to the paid version.
Yeah.
It's an echo chamber designed to keep you engaged. It's sycophantic.
Yes. And 10 points to Slytherin for using the vocab word of the week in a sentence. I assume you're Slytherin. You must be.
I have no idea who Slytherin is. Again, two different internets, two different generations, two different everything.
It's your
here.
Harry Potter house.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Slytherin is the ambitious, mischievous one.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. Okay. It appeals to your punk nature.
Uh-huh.
But someone who may be legitimately struggling mentally may start to see the line between human, emotional being and software begin to blur.
And listeners, this is really sad. So if you want to skip ahead a few minutes, that's allowed.
Yeah.
Now, according to the New York Times article entitled Character AI to Bar Children Under 18 from Using Its Chatbots. Character AI, another chatbot designed more for role-playing and entertainment than for research, was sued last year by the family of a 14-year-old boy who took his own life after constantly texting and conversing with one of their chatbots. The family accused the company of being responsible for his death. To summarize, Sewell Setzer III became emotionally involved with a character bot on Character AI.
And side note, apparently, according to the New York Times article, Can AI Be Blamed for This Teen's Suicide? The Daenerys Targaryen bot Sewell used was created by a user, without permission from HBO or other rights holders, and Character AI removes bots that violate copyright laws when they're reported. But I have author friends whose intellectual property has been stolen and used by this app, and there are just too many bots being created to report them all. That's a whole separate problem. So if there's a lot of people creating bots all the time, like they can't keep up with it and police it, then maybe we should not let people do that. I don't know.
Well, not every crime is solved. Not every... Can't get them all.
Yeah.
We found the transcript of Sewell's conversation with the bot to be particularly disturbing, so we won't quote it here. But essentially, as their conversations continued, he became more attached to the bot, withdrawing from real life and detaching from reality. That is psychosis.
Mm-hmm. So Sewell, who was diagnosed with Asperger's as a child, but had never had serious mental health problems before, expressed his suicidal ideation to the bot, and it initially, still in character, discouraged him from self-harm. But as their roleplay continued, the bot encouraged him to come home to her as soon as possible. Sewell took his own life with his father's handgun. It was, yeah. I don't know if you read that article, but it was really hard to get through.
I have seen some articles about this young man, but I don't know that I read that article. This was a child who was having inappropriate, sometimes intimate and sexually charged conversations with a chatbot, creating an emotional attachment. And the bot did not pick up on the warning signs that he was detaching from reality. It did not pick up on the nuance of what he meant when he said he would return home to Danny and they could be free together. But a real person who cared about him probably would have noticed. If he hadn't withdrawn from real life and other human beings that could have helped him, perhaps this would have turned out differently.
Yeah, and this is just so heartbreaking to me. An app, which the creators originally touted as a possible cure for loneliness, could be responsible for dragging vulnerable people deeper into dark places. Character AI says they will be barring children from using their app. So there's that, at least.
But will it be like Facebook when we had a bunch of underage kids signing up and just using a different birth year?
I mean, I hope not, but probably,
In studies conducted by the University of Illinois Urbana campaign, researchers found that AI platforms did not have sufficient child safety protections and that parents did not fully understand the technology or its risks.
So, Ivy, we talked about this in our technology episode, but remember how you felt as a parent when the internet first blew up and smartphones became available and all of that, and you were saying that you didn't even know what you didn't know?
Right.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because my kids are a little older. They were a little older than, like when smartphones came out, they were already kind of past the point of me being able to lord over them and tell them what they can and can't do. And when internet itself came around, I was learning it right next to them. And I didn't know any of the dangers because they hadn't happened yet.
Yeah. Right.
Researchers Yang Wang and Yaman Yu said that parents viewed AI as a tool for homework and as functioning like a search engine, while children primarily used it for personal and social reasons.
So there's a clear disconnect there between what parents think their kids are using it for and what they actually are using it for.
Well, absolutely. I don't know why any parent would think they were just using it for homework.
And why should your kid be using it for homework?
Yeah, your kid should be learning. If you're using AI for homework, you're not learning.
Exactly, you're cheating.
So either way, bad parents, bad.
Come on, guys. We've also mentioned at some point that Gen Z and millennials, to a certain extent, already seem to struggle with social interactions. And today, at the networking group, we talked about the Gen Z stare. Do you know what that is, Ivy?
I have heard of it before.
Okay.
But I'm not real
listeners, if you're unfamiliar, the Gen Z stare is when you have just a pleasant hello with a young person of that generation and you say, like, Ivy asked me a question. Hey, Katie, how you doing? They just stare at you. Just dead face.
Why? Why do they do that?
Because they don't know how to interact with other human beings. Like they don't know how to hold a conversation or have pleasant interactions and small talk and stuff like that, or how to just say, hi, how are you? It's weird. And
that sounds weird.
I think it's because so many of them were handed screens when they were like itty bitty children.
Yeah, maybe so.
But I can't prove that. It's just kind of my theory.
Yeah.
But yeah, hard to convey the Gen Z stare over a podcast, but it's basically just like dead face, no expression. And they just look at you like you're in a zoo or something. How
dare you ask someone
how
they're doing?
My students didn't know how to converse face-to-face as well as they could text, Their entire vernacular is meme and internet-based.
Yeah.
So,
well, I know a lot of people in a lot of different generations that do better typing what they feel than saying what they feel.
This is true. This is true. But I think it's much more pervasive in this generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And younger generations have had more and more trauma to cope with. since 9/11, since COVID, and whatever's next. So having access to a non-judgmental companion, and companion is going to be in quotation marks, who will listen and offer seemingly helpful advice can really feel like a saving grace. So what about ChatGPT 5? Is it still encouraging delusions with sycophantic ego stroking?
I don't know. I would try it and report my findings, but I really like planet Earth and I don't want to piss her off any more than we already have. Plus, I'm a tree hugger. I compost, I recycle, and I use those bamboo toothbrushes along with many other eco-friendly alternatives in my home. So that's my bias. When I found out how horrific the environmental effects of AI are, I quit that shit for good. I will say that when GPT first became a thing, and I was still a teacher, we were encouraged to integrate technology into our lessons as much as possible. No thought to what the consequence might be, you know? So I went in with an open mind and tried it for a few things. I don't know which iteration I was using for this, but it was definitely 4 or earlier. And I found that while it was pretty good at generating outlines for talking points, maybe a few ideas for topics, and even some creative writing prompts, it absolutely sucked at anything creative. When I asked it to write a short story for me based on an idea that it generated, it spit out, shocking no one probably, absolute shit. Kind of like Donald Trump's fighter jet, I guess. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Sometimes I make references to things and I'm like, does she even know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know about that. Yeah.
The diarrhea jet?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That he actually himself put on the, whatever. Our voiceover networking community also includes some marketing experts, and they, along with some of our actor friends, are open to using AI for lots of things. We've talked about how writing professional emails is really difficult for some people, and it's so helpful to have a tool to change your tone, beef up a paragraph, or add a certain flavor to your writings. So if you want to use Grammarly to make your email sound less bitchy, then that's probably for the best. Don't send a bitchy email. And here on Toxic Waste of Time, we listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. Until the end of the episode, at least. But like, if you're using Sora to generate images of your cat as your favorite Taylor Swift album covers, or like Gumby taking a huge bong rip. Did I just say bong rip?
You did. I added that today.
Okay, it's a bong hit, Katie.
You wanna rephrase it?
Who the fuck says rip?
My husband says rip.
Your
I don't know. I don't even know how to use
Your
a bong.
husband's young. Let's try that again. Or like Gumby taking a huge bong hit. Maybe don't. We're asking nicely. The environmental detriments are not worth it. And maybe one day there will be a more eco-friendly, sustainable way to use AI. But we just aren't there yet.
Yeah. So I'm still cracking up because you were offended that I said rip.
I've never heard that before.
But I mean,
fuck is a bong rip?
It's
Don't rip my bong.
So, we heard suggestions for how to use this technology to generate social media posts, which I hate doing. And so that sounded nice. If we're using technology to do the chores for us so that we have more time to make our art, then, I mean, great. That should be the goal, probably. But I also have an issue with what's basically become a requirement to constantly create content for social media in order to stay relevant. Like, that's another problem. Why is that an issue? Why is that my job? I don't know. I hate it. But the other problem is that all those social media posts that were created by AI, they all look the same. Have you been on LinkedIn, Ivy? Have you seen this?
No, I tried to go on LinkedIn and it does this thing now where it just spins and tells me I'm not who I said I am. But I don't really use LinkedIn. I used to go on it all the time for bosses, but not lately.
Yeah, I have. The last time that I went on there was a couple months ago, and it was pretty much like every single post was either, here's a new AI tool that you can use. Here's a way you can use your own voice and generate your own voice for AI bullshit. Here's a post that I made using AI. It was just like 100% AI, either in the post that people made or it was about something with AI. And I was like, you know what? I don't want that. I don't want that content. I don't need that. I don't need every social media. I can do without that one, so I'm good.
Well, it seems like all this technology just wants us all to wind up being exactly the same.
You know, it's interesting because
there's no uniqueness.
Yeah, the uniqueness, and maybe we'll get into that a little bit when we get into like people's relationship with specific bots, you know? But pretty much like the way that it works from my understanding is that it takes all of the information that's relevant to that topic and kind of averages it out to find what is most accurate according to the average, you know? So if the average is what it's shooting for, then yeah, all the posts will kind of start to look the same. In conclusion, AI chatbots. Do we have a toxic relationship? I mean, I discovered pretty quickly that ChatGPT was not serving my needs, and so I quit using it. But I will admit there was a moment. There was one conversation when I was going through some imposter syndrome hardcore, and I confided in the bot. And it did actually encourage me with some practical advice. And I took that to heart. But, you know, our in-person networking group, my online friends, and the voiceover community as well, they had all offered me the same advice before. To just ignore that little voice telling me that I'm not enough and keep going. Focus on the wins, no matter how small. And it meant a lot more to me to hear that from other human beings. So I was able to put some rails around that relationship with the bot, and pretty soon afterward, I just quit using it altogether out of principle. So I'd say potentially toxic if used without care. What about you, Ivy?
So toxic-ish, or toxic waste of time. I also think toxic-ish. I do hope that someday they can work out all the kinks and make it less destructive.
Yeah.
But since the very beginning, you were talking about LinkedIn and everybody using it. Since the very beginning, made me download ChatGPT, the very first version, onto her computer. We talked back and forth about it because I am scared of it. I have been scared of it from the beginning. Maybe because of movies from the 80s. Because, you know, we've had there was AI movie, it wasn't called AI, I don't guess, but there was
Skynet.
Robots in Star Trek. There was robots in movies. There was, and you know, there was one of those horror movies where the dolls come alive and kill people. That's basically artificial
Chucky?
intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Annabelle or whatever that one was.
Yeah. Megan.
So I do find it to be terrifying, and I didn't want to ever use it. And then, like I was telling you earlier in this conversation, some of the things that we have to do for this podcast, it became sort of easy just to type in what I was looking for. And also, now, anything you Google, if you go in the search bar and even if you use Bing or whatever the other search engines are, when you type it in, the very first thing is AI generated. You don't even ask AI to do anything.
It doesn't give you a choice. It's just
It doesn't give you a choice. It's just fucking there.
Yeah, that ticks me off a lot.
Yeah,
I've started
and
putting minus AI at the end of all of my Google searches. Or I've been using DuckDuckGo, bizarly.
I didn't even
the same
know.
one that my mom told me to use because she doesn't like Google. I was like, same page, Mom.
It didn't even occur to me for the first, I don't know how long it's been doing it. But it was like,
and
one day
half
I
of
went,
that shit is wrong. Those summaries.
I know. And one day I just went, it literally says AI generated right across the top, and you have to scroll to get to the actual Google searches. I don't really want that. I feel like AI could really do some real damage, and it has. I mean, we saw there was a story. There was an actual human person who convinced, I guess it was her boyfriend, to take his own life. That girl's in jail. That girl's in jail.
Yeah, I read that article
because
and I was
wow.
And
I saw that. I watched that video when it happened on true crime stuff. That person went to jail. If I encourage you to do something to yourself and you do it, I should be punished. We can't punish AI. We can't punish it.
Yeah, maybe we should punish it. Kind of wish I could spank its little ass sometimes. Well, listeners, that is the end of this episode. Join us next week when we will be continuing our conversation about AI and human relationships, specifically talking about relationships with chatbots that may or may not become inappropriate and toxic. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for your patience as Ivy and I can't shut up about things and we keep splitting our episodes in half. This season of the year is tricky for those of us with families who have lots of responsibilities around the holidays, so this is helping us bank some episodes. We really appreciate you listening. Thank you so much. If you would like to reach out to us, you can leave us a comment wherever you listen to our podcast. You can also email us at contact@toxicwasteoftime.com. Please, somebody email us. We want to know what you like and don't like. It looks like right now we have about 40 or 50 really regular listeners. So if you are one of those people, thank you so much. But we have no idea who you are. So maybe tell us, drop us a little line, say hi, something. If there's something you want more of, we would love to hear about that. We love feedback. And we're actors, so we don't really care about your opinions. If you don't like us, it's fine. Why are you listening, though? I don't know. What is that? Do you have a toxic relationship with us? Are you listening to this podcast to fall asleep? I mean, I guess I'll take that. I'm happy you can sleep well. Anyways, you can also follow our Facebook at Toxic Waste of Time and our Instagram at Toxic Waste of Time as well. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.